Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Jessica with another episode of Career Coaching with Jessness. This episode is for you if you have no idea what you want to do or where to start. I get that question so much. It's like, I know I've got to do something. I know I need to take action, but I have no idea what that should be. And I think people are sometimes paralyzed by the world being so vast and having so many options that it's easier and sometimes, of course, less scary to take no action. But that's really not an option. So I'm going to give you some practical, good old fashioned Capricorn advice, because I've got a lot of planets in Capricorn, advice that's going to help you walk through this. Okay. And I think you'll find that it's a lot different than the other advice that you hear out there. And because we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to give you kind of a next step and very specific to-dos for how to navigate this. And by the end of this episode, I promise you're going to feel better about what this next step is because you're going to have some direction. All right. So this episode was inspired, one, because I get this question all the time with my career coaching clients, and especially my recent grads or people that are looking to change industries or people that are not liking where they're at, even if they're 10, 20 years into it and they're like, God, I really do not like this, but I don't know what else there is. And so it can help if you're brand new to the corporate world or brand new to just starting work. It can help if you are looking to pivot and realizing, God, I don't like what I'm doing now, but what is next, having no idea. Or it can also help to know, all right, I have some ideas on what I do like, but what do I do with them? Okay. So this episode was also inspired by one of my resources on my website in what I call the Career Success Hub. And it's a worksheet actually that I created back in 2017, and it's still relevant today, which is very cool to create something that's, withstands the test of time like that. So I'm going to read you, I've got 10 questions on this worksheet, and it's, the worksheet is called Figure Out Your Life in 10 Questions. I love that, right? By the end of the 10 questions, boom, you've got an answer. But I'm going to share with you how to use these questions, how to put them into action and take it that next step further. So let's get into the questions. I'm going to read them out, just list them, and then we're going to double click in one of them specifically and take you through a self-discovery activity to uncover your action items. All right, so here are the questions. And you can do this live, right? Get out a piece of paper or take notes on your phone. Of course, if you're not driving, but I know you have common sense, so I don't have to remind you about that. All right, so questions, here they are. When am I most in the zone? What am I doing when time flies by? We're going to zero in on this one in this show. And this is the one we're double clicking on. And I've got some self-discovery questions that are going to help unlock your career move. All right. Another question. What do I look forward to most every week? Okay. What do I love to do that others don't? I love this question because it's whenever I see or experience like a problem or an inefficiency out just in life in general, my first thought is always, there might be a business opportunity here. So understanding what you love to do that others don't, hey, it may be, job security, because not a lot of people like to do that task. But anyway, I digress. Okay, keep going with the questions. What projects or tasks am I asked to do most? Okay. What do people ask me for help or advice in? What would my best friends or family say are my strengths? What activities kept me most busy as a kid? What is or was your favorite subject in school Or side note, if school's been a long time ago, like me, you could also ask yourself, oh, I do have this as the next question. All right, let's just go to that. What types of shows, podcasts, or books do I like? So where I was going to go with the favorite subject is, what books am I drawn to? What articles am I most likely to pick up and read front to back? Not just the titles, but the whole thing. All right. So that is the worksheet. Those are the questions that are on there. Let's double click on the question, what am I doing when time is flying? And why this is important is when time is flying, you are, it's another way, I guess, to say like you're in the zone. When time is flying, you're typically enjoying yourself. You're not thinking about, like what's next? What do I got to do next? You're in your element. There's some type of match to what you like doing, what your skill sets are, what you enjoy learning. And it's a good indicator to understand, all right, when I'm not thinking about time or trying to just get it over with or get through it, that can be clues into parts of your career that you want to bring to life and find. And so so I'm going to use an example here, and it's going to be a pretty basic example so that you can really, and some of you may go, this is stupid, this is a weird example, but it'll help showcase that whatever it is that you're doing when time is flying, even when it doesn't have any correlation in your mind to, I can't make money from this. This isn't a career or a job. It's going to showcase, yes, there is some nuggets of truth in there. There are some clues and evidence that we'll want to look for. So say that you are coloring. I know, coloring, literally, like you got the markers out, maybe it's colored pencils, maybe you're a crayon gal or guy, okay? So you're coloring and time is flying. And you're probably thinking, okay, yeah, right. There's no professional coloring designer out there. I'm not going to be hired to color in magazines. Okay, well, hey, never say never. But hey, if you're in that boat where you can't see how the things you love connect to a career, let's take this a step further. What you're going to want to do is look beyond the what it is. Coloring. Don't be so black and white with it. I love coloring, time's flying. There's no coloring jobs out there. That's not going to pay my bills. Okay, I hear you. I get it. But we need to look at what's beyond coloring. What is the essence of the activity or task that comes up? So for example, if we're using coloring, what comes to mind? What's the essence of coloring? What does it bring out in you? Perhaps it's just the feeling of being creative or starting from scratch, having a blank slate and getting to add to it and come up with something that wasn't created there before. Okay, there's a lot of jobs out there where those are part of it, where you have to use creativity, where you have to start from scratch, where you're creating something from an idea and bringing it to life, right? Perhaps coloring, perhaps it's the use of color or the ability to add to a design or using different mediums and being able to decide, okay, for this particular project, AKA, coloring thing, I'm going to use colored pencils or markers or whatever, AKA different tools, right? So you get that, a little bit of that problem solving involved into it. Maybe what you love about it is that it brings out a sense of curiosity and asking yourself, what might be possible? What if I could suspend, how it exactly has to look and get to create that and get to decide and think outside, color outside the lines. There you go. Perfect. Love, I love making myself laugh. But anyway, perhaps it's just having some fun and being in flow. All right. So this is a cool example because typically if time is flying when you're coloring, you're having a single pointed focus, right? You're able to zero in on that where you're probably not worried about, what you're having for dinner tonight or what you said to that person yesterday. having a single pointed focus is an element that you may look for in a future job. Like, speaking from personal experience, that's one of the reasons I love my job. There is nowhere else I can be but present when I'm on stage speaking or when I'm facilitating a training. I love that feeling. I love having to be disciplined in that way and being so present in my body. It gives me an opportunity to connect with the audience, to connect with the training participants and truly be there now. And I love it because so much of our world doesn't require this level of intent necessarily, or discipline. And I think it also relates to an activity that I find time flying outside of my day job, and that's writing. Writing also gives me that sensation. And I think that's why it's so valuable to me. I don't think I'll ever stop writing because of that. And it allows me to learn a lot about myself in that presence. And so when, it's one of the ways that my job is just, I know it's such a great fit because when time is flying, I'm writing and I'm in that single pointed focus. I'm present. My day job requires that of me too. So I'm not a writer in my day job. The writing pays, some of the bills, not all, but the essence of writing and being present and having to be there now. When I'm writing, I'm not worried about, my laundry or, what I said to my mom over the weekend. When I'm coaching at work and I do that both at my day job and also, on the side. I kind of hate that term, but on the side. But when I'm coaching one-on-one or in front of a group and training and sharing content and leading and facilitating a conversation amongst leaders, I'm also not worried about what I said to my mom or my laundry. You see? So you can see how the essence of one activity is able to show up in another. And it doesn't have to be the exact activity for me to understand, okay, what's required of me in the skill set and the essence that it brings out in me is a match, is a fit. So that's one of the ways that we can really take the essence and have it relate to one another. And this is what I call looking for your transferable interests, right? We all know of the term transferable skills, where it's, hey, I've got communication skills and I've got facilitation skills. And even if I haven't necessarily facilitated this training over here, because I've done facilitation and have great communication skills, I know that I can apply those to something new and be successful. Same thing here. When we're uncovering our interest in one area and bringing out the essence of what is it about coloring, what is it about writing that I really love that I can apply then to another role or job, and I know I'm going to like it and probably be good at it because I already expressed that in an activity or task that may be different from the job I'm applying for, but the essence, the what's expected of me and what it brings out in me, the interests are similar. This episode is brought to you by my Brain Dates, one-on-one conversations where we figure out your next move together on a variety of topics. You can learn more on my website, jessnessrequired.com, under the Work With Me tab. So this is something that comes up a lot when I'm doing my energetic career readings as well. Those are part of my Brain Dates, but it's taking a step further into your career being a mirror for a lot of other things. What's happening in our internal world often shows up in our external world. And this kind of next level, taking it a step deeper and not just looking at the what we do, but how we do it and who we are and what it brings out of us is really where we can start to find some synergy between what truly lights us up and how we apply that in the career world. So that's your activity. That's your kind of to-do here. So if you have no idea what you want to do or where to start with, you can download that worksheet that I have, the Figure Out Your Life in 10 Questions, so you can have that list of questions I listed off in the beginning of the episode. Or you can just take that, what are you doing when time is flying, and apply that. It shouldn't take long to try it out. If you're thinking to yourself, I don't know how to do this. This is difficult. Let me give you a cheat code. So I do encourage you to try to uncover this first on your own. Okay, so going through and asking first, what am I doing when time is flying? What is the essence of that activity or task, right? Like we went over, is it creativity? Is it being able to start from scratch? Is it whatever? When I use the coloring example. But if you still get stuck, here's your backup plan. And let me just say this too, this is essentially a self-discovery activity. And I truly believe that self-discovery is a deeply personal journey. However, there are tools that we can use along the way to help nudge us into the understanding of ourselves. And so, the key here is we need to make sure we do not leave ourselves out of it and get ourselves in a situation where we're giving up our power or authority to someone else or to a bot, right? To AI. But here's a cheat code if you do get stuck. Here's your backup plan. If you try to uncover the essence of a task and you get stuck. Here's what you do. Step 1, make a list of all the activities and tasks that you're doing when time is flying. Okay? Coloring, writing, walking, I don't know, whatever else it might be. Playing with your dog, okay? Anything. Nothing is wrong here. We're just making a list. I wouldn't get the list too long. I'd try to maybe narrow it down to 8 or less, just to make sure that you have more of a targeted answer and response, but you're going to make that list, okay? Then you're going to plug that into AI and say, what are the essences that make up these tasks, right? What period? Yeah, just leave it at that. What essences make up these tasks and activities? Okay, hit enter, get your response. Then step 3, you're going to prompt and ask, what jobs are made up of these essences? Then you're going to get a list, okay? And then you're going to get some ideas. Now, you may find the list you're like, this isn't the list. That's fine. Step 4 is you have to enter. You have to enter the chat yourself, right? Don't take yourself out of the self-discovery path and activity. So go in as yourself and assess the list. Feel into it. Is it true for you? If not, recalibrate. Get more aligned and more targeted with your initial list of activities and tasks. Play around with that. Have fun. Approach it like a little life experiment. I truly think that life gets more fun when we see things as, experiments, just to understand more of ourselves, just to uncover what there might be for us. So assess the list, feel into it. If it is true, and if it does feel good to you, awesome, cool. Then you've got a list of potential jobs that you can explore as your next move. All right, I'm really curious how this lands for you. So let me know how this goes. If you do take yourself through this activity, you can reach out to me in the contact details in the podcast description, but I really want to know, how does this land? What comes up for you? Do you find that the list is accurate? Or perhaps just the activity of going through and not using the cheat code and being able to take yourself through the uncovering of, oh, I never thought about it like that. Like I've never thought about looking for the step deeper, the essence of these activities that I do and tasks. And I this is what I found out about myself, or this is what surprised me. I would love to hear about that. Probably quickest way to get in touch is on Instagram using my personal account. So Hello Jessness, or you can email me, and that info is in my description. Okay, good luck. And I'm so curious what comes up. So best of luck, and we'll see you on another episode. This episode is brought to you by my Brain Dates, one-on-one conversations where we figure out your next move together on a variety of topics. You can learn more on my website, jessnessrequired.com, under the Work With Me tab.